Alright, so that's how that works. Um, I kind of had to break the video for a second there to get the exact values. Now, the penalties, I'm going to go ahead and comment it, so we always have the information. 2 versus 2 teams earn 76% of a 5s with the same rating. Okay? 3's teams earn 88% of a 5's team with the same rating. Alright, so that's what the points penalty is going to return. It's going to return 0.76, 0.88, or 1.0. Alright, definitely float numbers, so we got to keep that in mind. Alright, so now we're done with our public accessors. We're going to move on to the private ones. But I haven't done the constructor and destructor yet, which is a very important thing. And this is why, because I'm just getting here to the private, and I hadn't in my head decided what I'm going to go ahead and put for the variable names. So I'm going to do that now, and then we're going to do that. So unsigned int team rating, keep it simple, unsigned int team size. Alright, so that's the most basic class design right there, minus the destructor. So let's go ahead and do that. So constructors and destructors work like this. You can't just give them any old name, alright? You gotta name them with the class, and the destructor has to be preceded by a tilde sign. It's this little wiggly sign here. It's you hold down your shift key, and if you look at your keyboard where it says 1, 2, 3, 4 up at the top there, it's the one left of the number 1. If you aren't aware what a tilde is, that's the one it is. But you gotta hold shift when you're doing it. Alright, so let's go ahead and make our constructor. Now we don't need to overload it, so I'm not going to do that. You could overload it so that you can actually pass functions to it or pass none. But I'm not going to go through that because I'm not going to. When I do it, I'm not going to pass it because the way I have the program in my head is the menu is going to be procedural. Even though all its inner workings are object oriented, it's going to be procedural to me. So once I've run it, there's gonna be no menu because it's a personal program. There's gonna be no menu. It's gonna say enter your rating, enter the team size, this and that, and then it's gonna spit out the numbers I want. So there's gonna be no skipping, so I don't need to overload these functions. But you can, if you want to make yours a little more in depth and say, hey, press 1 if it's a 2's team, press, and so on and so forth. You can do that, but I'm not gonna do that. So let's go ahead and make the constructor. Now, what you want to do is you want to create these functions outside of your class. But for my constructor, I'm gonna put it right. No, you know what? Class design. I'm not going to. Destructor. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do it along with the rest of them proper. Now, destructor. You can go ahead and just put your function brackets like that at the end of it to show that the function is written. You don't have to put the semicolon. Do it like that. That way that function is actually written, and there's no code inside of it. Because you don't, for one this basic, you don't need it. Like if you're using dynamic memory and allocations of certain variables within the class, you would need that so that when it's destroyed, it would automatically free those things. You won't have to worry about actually doing it when you were using the class, because it would do it for itself. Part of the OOP priority is to be able to manage itself as well. But anyway, moving on. Now when you're writing these functions, you write them as arena team, and then scope it to arena team, just like that. Now write your function. See how you're writing this here. Just good class design, and then follow down. Normally you would put this declaration up here in a header file, and then you would put this in a C++. But you know what? We're gonna do it like this. It's about class design, not about organizing your data in your own programs. I'm sure you have ways of doing that yourself. For our constructor, what we wanted to do was set default values for the rating and size, so that you're not going to get divide by zeros and shit like that. Errors. It's just a quick safety measure. So we're going to set the team rating is equal to 1. Alright, so the team rating will default to 1, and the team size will default it to 5. Now we've kind of done that up here already, so we could take that out if we wanted to, if it was omitted. But you know what, we're not going to. We can just leave it there. But it's unnecessary code. It's a little overhead, but the overhead on something that's small is nothing worth worrying about. The next function we need to do is set the team rating size. So we need void arena team set team rating unsigned int rating size. Now we just basically set the team rating is equal to what was passed. Alright. Okay, now let's jump ahead a bit and let's set the team size, because it's kind of like the same setup here. Set team oops. Wow. Fast fingers. Set team size unsigned int var is equal to 5. So if we don't pass a value, the created var is going to equal to 5. So now we want to set team size is equal to the var that was passed. Now we want to get our we want to return that data now. So what we want to do is see unsigned int arena team get team rating. We want to return the value of team rating. Simple as that. Unsigned int arena team get team size. Okay. We want to return team size. Just like that. So we've we have set the size, the rating, we have wrote the functions to get them back. The only thing we haven't done is the penalty. So let's go ahead and do that now. Float arena team get points penalty. Okay. Const. Now it's entirely what we're returning is the penalty based on the team size. So we're going to use a case for team size. So case team size. Case 2, we're going to return, if it's a 2's team, we're going to return 0.76. Oh, and break. Case it's 3's, oops.